Hey there, Bob from Oregon's Constant Gardener. It's the OCG Nectar Show, episode 002. We're moving on with the nectar thing. I'll recap briefly from yesterday. So we got our nectar for the gods sample kit. We got the thing open. We saw what was inside there. And then I've got some notes as to what we're going to cover today. But we got the sample kit feeding regimen. And we got into this a little bit, the philosophy, and we talked about how they came up with these numbers and how you use this and, basic feeding stuff. And today, I think we're going to talk about some tools and water and a few things like that. I don't think we're actually going to get to mixing this stuff into some nutrients, but we're going to talk about some other stuff that we need to do before that because we're going slow. Microscopic level, step by step, no step missed, no question unanswered. So if you got questions, in the comments, we'll answer them. But let's get going here. So that was the recap. Tools. You need a few tools to do this thing. You're going to need a spoon or something to mix the stuff up. You're going to need a bucket. An old nectar bucket is an excellent choice. They'll mix it up in there, so you need that. You're going to need something to water the plants with. I use one of these. Some people use a watering can or whatever. That's not real crucial. But the main things you need beyond that are something to measure the nutrients with. Now, on the sample kit regimen, most of the other regimens, all the other regimens have this stuff in milliliters, but to make it easier for this, so you have something around the house if you're just getting started with it, we did teaspoons and tablespoons. So you probably got a teaspoon and a tablespoon. You can steal from the kitchen there, or you can get one special. I got these at the Target. They were not expensive. Or, maybe you got some of these laying around, some measuring cups. That'll work too. This is a nice little one from Hydro Farm because it's got the teaspoons and the tablespoons on there. Although I got to tell you myself, I kind of like just using these. Then the next thing you need is some way to measure the pH. Crucial. And we're going to get into the pH and all that when we do the mixing, but you're going to either need a meter, or if you're just getting started, you can probably just get away with some of this tape. We did a video about that a while back, and we'll do another one, but you get this pH tape. It's good enough. I'll show you how to do this. Kind of a special procedure for that, and we'll get to that. But that's all the tools you need. Let me see, water. You're going to need some water. Come on over here. What I do with the water is I've got a hose downstairs, and I fill up this bucket every night, and then I bring it on up here, and then in the morning, I've got my water. But something you should know about city water is that wherever that city water came from, it had some creepy crawly things rolling around in there that you probably don't want to drink. And so what they do, your city's founding fathers there and all the government type people, is they put some chlorine in here or some chloramine to clean it up so you don't get a brain-eating amoeba. But that chlorine they put in here or that chloramine they put in there is not so great, not so much for the nutrients, but for the rich microbial life we're trying to build in our soil that eats this stuff up and processes it to make it, well, actually this one to make it useful for the plants. And so what you need to do is you need to find out from your municipality if you have chloramine in your water or chlorine. It's probably one of those two. And if it's chlorine, you can get rid of it with something like this. And we'll talk about this in a second. But the chlorine evaporates out of the water fairly quickly. So if you take your water and you pour it into a big bucket like I do, and then you set it down there, and then the next day you come around, that's probably gassed off and you're probably okay. Now the chloramine, not so much the case with that. It's we'll get into that later on because we'll do a whole episode about water, about reverse osmosis water, distilled water, well water, all that kind of thing. We'll do all that. But for now, we just want to talk about your city water if that's what you're using, because that's a good chance what you are, keeping that clean. So we use this stuff, Microbe Life, hydroponics, Dechlorinate. Good stuff. Works for the chlorine or the chloramine. So what you do is you take this stuff, you put a little bit in here. Actually, I think I'll shake it up a little bit. Shake that up, put a little in, and that's all I do. I don't know the official instructions. We might read the bottle here. I think that's probably enough. We'll mention that in the footnotes there. And then hold on a second, I gotta go get the mixer. You mix that in there, you're good to go. That's good enough. So that's about that. Let's see what else we got here. The next thing, so we got our water. The next thing we're going to do is take all our nutrients and put them in here and mix them up. But we'll do that tomorrow because there's one other thing I want to talk to you about today. And that's mixing these things up. Now, the Medusa's Magic, the Gaia Mania, the Athena's Aminas, the Demeter's Destiny, they mix up fairly easily. The Zeus juice, it's pretty much just the Zeus juice in there, so it mixes up real easy. But the ones you have to be concerned about are the Herculean Harvest and the Olympus Up. The other ones need a good shake. But the thing with these is this is a bone meal, and then this is limestone, and this is liquid rock. So let me show you. I hate to waste one of these, but I want to show you what the deal is when you just get this. Because what happens a lot with the Herculean Harvest is that people pour it in there. Let's just start with the Herculean Harvest. We'll go through these one at a time. So this is just a fresh bottle of Herculean Harvest. Take the seal off there. And I'm going to pour it in. That's not the stuff. Yeah. Hold on a second. I get one of these. That's the bone meal and the gum and such that's in there. That's the actual active stuff. So this is pretty much useless. This is the stuff. So what you need to do is you got to shake it up to get to that stuff. But I'm going to shake this up here. Pretty good shake, right? Hold on a second, I'm coming right back. Pour that in there, all right. Still all at the bottom. So what happens is, with this, is that a lot of times people are shaking it up and they think they're shaking it up good enough, but they're not, and they're pouring it on, and then they pour it on for 4, 5, 10 feedings, and then they're like, holy moly, I wasn't shaking it up good enough. It's not working. I wasn't getting good use out of it. And the other thing is this one, the Olympus Up, is that you use the Olympus Up for adjusting your pH, and they'll be like, this Olympus Up isn't working. It's not working. What's going on? And what it is it's this stuff. It's not the actual limestone that's in the bottom. So now when you do this, after you've mixed it up thoroughly the first time, much easier later on. What happens though is that this is made, here in Springfield, Oregon, and then it's shipped out to your store, and it sits on the shelf for whoever knows how long. Not too long, but long enough that it all settles. So what you need to do is that first time around, kind of give that a little tap. You can tell that stuff's still down on the bottom there. You need to shake this thing for a long, 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 long time. Then, let me get something else to pour in here. Let's see. Give it a try. No. No. Not there. Long, long. 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 Long time. Liquid rock. You start to see it thicken up there. Now with this one, that's really almost there, I think. Give it a little more. What you can do is, a rule of thumb, is when it's all shook up, it's kind of like a melted milkshake. It's not like super, super thick, like it pours out super slowly, but it definitely feels thick. So, long time the first time. And I think that's enough for today, because I feel like I'm being too harsh on you about that, but I want you to understand that you really got to shake the Herculean Harvest and Herculean Harvest, and the Olympus up a lot. So that's that. I think we've covered a little bit for today. The chloramine, the chlorine, getting those out of your water so you save that microbial life. Shaking this up a long time, what tools you need. And then it won't be tomorrow, but on the next episode, which will be the OCG show Nectar for the Gods track 003, we're going to be getting a bucket and mixing the stuff up, doing the pH on it, talking a little about that, getting a little farther down the chart here, and probably actually pouring this stuff on a plant. So that'll be fun. I hope you're liking the show. I hope we're covering everything in the detail you need. But like I said, if you have questions, put them in the comments. We'll get them answered. And I'll see you tomorrow. I love you. For more information about anything on today's show, go to our website, ocgfam.com. The OCG Fam Show, it's pretty good. It happens every day. It's the OCG Fam Show. See you tomorrow.